Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you our January 2020 budget with me, which is crazy that we're planning for a new year, a new decade, and always a new month. But before we get into the video, I want to let you know if you are wanting to get started with budgeting in the year 2020, you can actually get this budget template that I will be using on my shop. I will have a link to my shop in the description box down below. This is an instant Excel download, so if you're interested in using the same exact budget template, you can check it out there and shop if you'd be interested. So without further ado, let's get into the budget. So the first section that we have is our income section. I have Jacob's income and my income individually blocked out, but I do show you our side hustle income, which is my business here online. And so I plan to make like $42.50 this month is what I'm expecting to bring home. So as a total, we're planning to bring home $7,735. So an interesting thing that's happening with our income in the month of January is that we are planning to max out our HSA, our health savings account, for the entire year of like contributions that we can put into it in January. And so we have an HSA with Jacob's employer. So we actually aren't planning on him getting paid very much in January because we're just maxing it out in this first month. And that means though that in coming months his take-home pay will be a lot higher, which will be great. So that is just one little funky budget adjustment, but I am planning to bring home a lot more for my business this month, so that'll be a huge help in having him not be bringing home as much money. And we're planning on using our HSA to cover all medical expenses as we are having a baby in May, and so we'll be using the HSA to cover all labor and delivery expenses. So again, our grand total for income is $7,735. So now to move into all of our expenses and savings items, we use a zero-based budget, which means that all of our income equals all of the money out. So every dollar does get a name. So first off, in our expenses, we have our tithe and our giving. And this is what we give to our church. So I've previously kept this all like blocked out for privacy, but I know that if you truly wanted to, you could just do the math to see how much we give. So that's fine. I'm sharing this because giving is one of the most fun things that we do with our money, and it's something that I think a lot of people are hesitant to do because it seems a lot nicer to put this extra money into savings or to paying off debt or whatever that may be. But for us, we're Christians and we believe in tithing, giving to our church and other organizations, and so we've always made that a priority even while we were paying off debt. And now that we are debt free, it's been really fun to see like how much we really can give each month, and so we give 10% total to our church and African New Life, which is a missions organization where we support 2 kids in Rwanda. So that is 10% of our take-home pay. So we plan to give $695.50 to our church and then $78 to African New Life, and that together is 10%. We also give to another missions organization, which is $40 a month, and that's on top of the 10% that we decide to give. Next we have is our mortgage. So we pay $2,398.60 for our mortgage. This month it's a little bit higher of a percentage than what I usually like to have it at, but that's basically because we aren't expecting to bring home as much income because of the HSA coming out of Jacob's paycheck. We also have an HOA, and this is something that we have to pay each month, and the HOA for our neighborhood covers all landscaping for our house and all the houses in the neighborhood, as well as maintaining parks, and so we're fine paying the HOA, which I know that a lot of people are very much against paying for an HOA. Next we have is water, sewer, and that is $93.85 a month. Natural gas should be around $40. I don't have the exact number yet, but I should be getting it here like in a couple days, but it's been around $40 for the last couple months. And trash, we recently found out, we moved into this house in September, so we're still figuring out like all the utility cycles and everything, but trash is every other month that we pay it. So this month for January, we don't have to pay anything for trash, and we'll have to pay it in February. And then we have electric, which has also been about $40 a month. Our house is heated with gas, and so electric is just all the lights that we use in the house. Internet is $55 a month, and then our phones, this is our cell phones for my phone and Jacob's, and that comes to $117.33. Next we have is insurance, and this is car insurance for both of our cars, and that is $160.13. Next we have is life insurance. Jacob and I each have life insurance policy, and this is just a great ease of mind now that we especially are in a house and we have a baby on the way due in May. And for the both of us, it costs us $52.89. So fairly inexpensive and great peace of mind to know that we'd be okay if anything did happen to either one of us. Next we have is groceries, and we plan to spend $150. I know that this is a lot less than what we have spent in previous months, but we recently received a few like generic Visa gift card situations, and we've decided to use those to cover groceries and those sorts of things, which will allow us more in our budget to put towards savings goals. So our grocery budget is going to be should be a little bit lower this month. Next we have is eating out, and we put $100 to eating out to allow us to be able to go out on a few date nights each month. And then we have gas at $150, and this is usually about what we spend, and this is 2 fill-ups for each of our cars. Then we have a Roth IRA, and we put $200 a month into a Roth IRA. We also have a fun line item in our budget, and if you guys have been following my budget updates, then you know we often don't spend a lot of money in our fun budget, but we do have that set aside if we decide to do something fun with friends or anything. This month we also are putting $100 towards gifts. We have 2 weddings to attend in the month of January, so I'll be buying some wedding gifts with this budget. And then we put $100 into miscellaneous because you always need like a miscellaneous buffer, because there always seems to be extra things that come up and that we need to cover in our budget. So we have that as well. So the total that we have for our expenses is $4,742.76, and that is 61% of our income. Next we have is all of our savings items, and I have the beginning and ending balances blocked out for you guys because I haven't shared our December 2019 budget report yet, so I keep those numbers secret until you can see them in our budget report video. So we'll stay tuned for that one coming up. But right now our big financial goal as we are getting ready to have baby here, and as we've recently moved into a house, is beefing up our emergency fund. So we came into our house with a $10,000 emergency fund, but we want to get that up to about $25,000, and that'll be about like 7 months of necessary expenses for us, and just will make us feel a lot more secure now that we have a house and a baby on the way. So we've put every extra dime that we can to the emergency fund. So this month we plan to put $2,217.24 to the emergency fund. Next, Jacob gets $100 of personal spending money, and he can choose to save it or spend it during the month, whatever he wants to do, and he doesn't need to like ask my permission for anything. He can just spend it. I also get $100 of personal spending money each month, and along the same lines, I get to do whatever I want with it. I get to save it, spend it, whatever. We also put $50 a month into an extra giving fund, and this allows us to say yes to additional giving opportunities if they come up. And I love having this line item in our budget because it is something that when we were getting out of debt, it felt like it was hard to say yes and like give to other people, and so we included this, and it allows us to be able to say yes without it affecting like the rest of our budget. So we love keeping this in our budget. Next we have is vacation, and Jacob and I, since we are expecting a baby and really trying to save for the emergency fund and baby stuff, we haven't put anything to vacation. And so we just realized that there are bigger things that we should be working on right now, which I'm bummed because I love going on vacation, but I am going to be excited to have all of our financial goals taken care of before baby gets here. Next we have is Christmas. So we are beginning to save for Christmas 2020, and that is we still have 12 months of savings, and we are saving $50 a month between January and December to be able to cover Christmas expenses. And that way, once we get to December, we'll have money sitting aside in our Christmas fund, and our December budget won't be blown out of the water because of Christmas. And so $50 this month goes into Christmas fund. We also are putting $75 into a car maintenance fund, and that way we can cover any sort of car repairs if we need, and yeah, that's always an important fund for us to have. As well, we also have a house maintenance fund, and this way we can cover any sort of house repair that may come up that we need. Once our emergency fund is done, we plan to put $350 a month into the house maintenance fund, but right now, while we're trying to finish the emergency fund, we're just going to finish it off, and if we need to cover any sort of large house repair between now and when the emergency fund is done, we'll just pull it from the emergency fund. But it'll feel good once the emergency fund is done that we can like have an extra emergency fund essentially for the house. Next we have is household, and this is our budget that we'll spend on things like toilet paper or paper towels, or like even if I need some like new eyeliner, or just sort of like miscellaneous household supplies. And we put $100 a month into that category. We are then also putting $200 into our baby fund this month. In the month of December, we spent a lot on baby supplies, which you'll see in my December budget report video, but this month we're planning to take it back a little bit and only put $200 into the baby fund because we really don't need to buy anything else besides like a dresser between now and once we have like a baby shower to see all the extra things that I'll need to purchase. So that brings us to a total of $2,992.24 put into savings. And to really quick just talk about our savings, because I get this question all the time of where do you put the money in your for all of your sinking funds. So the emergency fund, we actually have in a high yield savings account, and we use Ally Bank for their online high yield savings account. I remember when I signed up for it maybe like 9 months ago, it was at like 2.2% and it's now down to like 1.6, but honestly, that's better than what you can get if just letting it sit in most regular savings accounts anyway. So we have our emergency fund sitting in a different bank off to the side so we can't see it, we can get to it if we need to, but we have it sitting aside earning a little bit of interest. And then all of our sinking funds we have just as a total in our regular savings account so that we can access them more frequently, as we do spend them more frequently than we do on the emergency fund. And so we have the grand total of these sitting in a savings account, and then I have my spreadsheet here that shows me how much is actually in each account. If you want to, you can actually talk to your bank and open up all different savings accounts and label them so you can have kind of like cash envelopes for your bank accounts, but we decided that we just don't need to worry about that, and since we have my budget spreadsheet here that shows it all, we'll just put the grand total into our savings account. So that is a little update on our January budget. As you can see, the difference down here is 0, which means that we have a zero-based budget, every dollar has a name, and our budget is done for January. So if you're ready to start your January 2020 budget, definitely check out my budget spreadsheet on my shop with the link in the description box down below, and also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more budgeting videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.